We join you from Miller Park in Milwaukee. Matinee baseball for you as the Pirates wrap up the road trip here against the Brewers. And it's an important divisional game here today. The Pirates 2-4 on this road trip, trying to finish it on the right note. And a look at the standings. Pirates not gaining any ground, not losing any, except for against the Brewers, who, of course, beat the Pirates last night here at Miller Park. And welcome into the booth. Joe Block and John Wayner with you here this afternoon as the Pirates back in action against these Brewers, starting that big stretch last night of these divisional games. And when it matters most, you want your best guys out there. And so far, Garrett Cole has really been one of those better pitchers for the Pirates so far this season.
He's the ace of your staff. You expect Garrett Cole to go out there and win ball games and at times dominate. And he had a great start his last time out against Detroit. He went 8 strong innings through 102 pitches, had everything working. The explosive fastball, he had the good slider, the curveball going. The Pirates scored 7 for him, which certainly helped. He allowed 3 in the 7-5 win. Garrett Cole, we expect him to be big in big games.
And you look back at June, and it just seems like that was just a hiccup for him. He's been very, very good the rest of the season.
He's been good against the Brewers, a 1.29 ERA and 3 starts. He's been good against the entire National League Central, which is key. Those are the big games you want him to pitch well in. Career in his big at Miller Park, not great, 437, but still, he's capable of going out there and throwing zeros up.
Yeah, it's a big ballpark, or a little ballpark, tough for pitchers to pitch in, and Garrett Cole has been able to weather the storm here, and they'll need some offense. Maybe the Pirates can get their bats going here against the Brewers this afternoon. Some of the guys that will face Jimmy Nelson of Milwaukee coming up here from Miller Park. Trip here against the Brewers today. Nelson, a really good stretch of ball until his last start. Gave up 10 runs against the Reds in his last go-around, but had been one of the better pitchers prior to that. So let's see if the Pirates can get the offense going. That has not gone well so far on this sojourn away from PNC Park.
I mean, he gave up 10. Nelson did last start. Well, Pirates will take half of those. It's score 5 because it has been a struggle. Just 2.5 runs per game. Managed to win 2 of those 6 games. Average under 200. Runners in scoring position, not that great either. Extra base hits, just 13. And oddly enough, the Pirates haven't been that bad of an offense on the road this year, but it's been a struggle this particular trip.
Well, there's a few guys that have had some good career numbers against Jimmy Nelson, and they're in there today. 1, 2, and 3 in the order.
And you expect these guys to help you out offensively, and so it may be a nice matchup, and these guys can go. I thought Marte started swinging the bat better last couple of days, so hopefully he's about to catch fire. Get Harrison on for McCutchen, and McCutchen can drive him in.
We'll see if that will work here for the Pirates, and we'll check back in with our studios. Rob King has a game break. That kind of matters is there's been a standoff here after the national anthem. Elias Diaz of the Pirates and Orlando Arcia of the Brewers have decided to see who has the greatest fortitude and can stand there the longest. And now they just break up after the game is about to begin. A lot of fun. This is let's see who breaks first.
We win.
Hopefully that and the game today. I mean, they stood there a good 15 minutes. Everybody tried to contribute. Showing that even though this game very important, there both teams loose and getting ready for the action. Got to have some fun around the game of baseball. Here's the lineup for the Pirates here at sunny Miller Park, and Marte, Harrison, and McCutchen atop that order, all with those good numbers against Jimmy Nelson. The cleanup man, Josh Bell, has got 6 hits and a home run in his last 5 games. Freese and Frazier 5 and 6. Mercer, Chris Stewart again, and then Garrett Cole.
They're no strangers to Jimmy Nelson. Have faced him plenty of times. 9 and 6, a 3.72 ERA. 162 strikeouts. That's good for 6th in the National League. And boy, he's coming off a rough start. 3 2/3 innings, 11 hits, 10 runs, 9 of them earned. His last start against Cincinnati.
And the Honda defense for Milwaukee today. Travis Shaw over there at third. Sogard and Walker, the double play combination. Jesus Aguilar gets the start at first. Perez, Broxton, and Santana in the outfield. Manny Pena doing the catching for the Brewers today. No Thames, no Braun. Poor career numbers against Garrett Cole, so at least start on the bench. Marte back atop the order. And you think he's showing signs of coming out of these this slow start since coming back from the suspension?
He appears to be seeing the ball much better. You know, on the breaking balls that we've seen him chase in the past, he's not even flinching. He's recognizing speed. He's recognizing spin. He looks more quiet at the plate than we've seen this year. And so my guess is he's feeling more and more comfortable, and I think the hits will start to come.
He's been back for about a month now. Has over 100 at bats. And facing a pitcher in Nelson, who is been very good as of late too. The arbiters today, Hunter Wendelstedt calling the balls and strikes. Ben May, local guy, over at first base. Joe West is the crew chief. At second base, Andy Fletcher. Umpires at third this afternoon. And Marte will find his way aboard to start.
And that's another sign of more comfortable at the plate. It's a fastball after a breaking ball down in a way that he was able to waste. Nelson tries to bust him in with a fastball, and real handsy swing. A lot of times you'll pull this foul, maybe foul it off a foot, but Marte, the hands working. Took the hands inside the ball. Didn't get all of it, but you don't have to. Nice soft liner in the left.
Especially for Marte with that speed, a lot of times those singles can become 2-base. He's stolen 9 already.
And we'll look for him to go here early on. And then Nelson not great at holding runners.
He has permitted 14 steals already. Only 2 have been thrown out with him on the mound.
Oh,
and they hit the umpire.
Should get the third.
Marte easily getting all the way to third base. An early break for the Pirates.
And a break you have to take advantage of early in the ball game. And this throw really wasn't close. Look at the umpire. Gets a piece of him. The first base umpire, Ben May, unable to get out of the way of that. Hits him in the left foot, it looked like. Not even an attempt from Jesus Aguilar, the first baseman.
Craig Counsell. And now Marte at third after the throwing error. And 1 out. And it's Sogard. Man at third with 1 out. Let's take a look at our Rivers Casino tips to win.
Well, let's score 4. The Pirates, it's been a struggle. We've talked about the offense a whole bunch, but when they score 4, amazing record of 51-11. And Garrett Cole, you hope for the continued dominance against the Central, the dominance on the road. If you saw the pregame, Robbie talked about how well Cole has pitched against the Central 7 straight wins away from PNC Park. Anything odd about that? The 7 wins away from PNC Park consecutively on the road. He only has 2 wins at home.
Yeah, you would think in a pitcher's park.
Yeah.
That would. We know, sometimes the wins don't correlate to how well somebody pitches. Sometimes that's run support, and which speaks to your first tip of that score 4. And we have not seen a lot of stretches this season where the offense has been clicking. And you look at last night, and Nova pitched very well and ends up getting a loss. Hung on him.
Yeah, that was right there. And boy, that's unfortunate. Offensively, you got a great opportunity with the infield back, and Josh Harrison, the line drive right at the shortstop, unable to get it on the ground, and Andrew McCutchen probably wasn't expecting a fastball elevated on the plate on an 0-2 pitch.
So Nelson gets the strikeout. Now a ball hit to the infield or a fly ball does not score the run. You need a 2-out hit from Josh Bell. Rookie with 20 home runs. Having a nice road trip, really having a nice second half as well. Getting over 300 since the All-Star break. So that's about the last month or so. And Josh Bell will come through with that 2-out hit. He'll bring in Marte, and the Pirates start off on top.
That is clutch. That's picking up your teammates right there. And you have that runner at third, and they're conceding that run. And for Jimmy Nelson and the Brewers, they're thinking, well, good chance we can get out of it now. The runner on third, nobody out, but Josh Bell muscles that breaking ball that was running in on his hands and kind of alligator arms it out there a little bit like we've seen in the past. That's a clutch RBI right there.
64th run batted in for Josh Bell. Well, the error does cost the Brewers here in the first. David Freese in the 5 spot. 262. Well, Nelson in his last start giving up those 10 runs against the Reds, but prior to that he went on an 18-start run where his ERA was 2.71. Bell is running. Pitches a ball. And that's a strike.
Perfect throw.
Trying to get into scoring position with 2 outs, but Bell cut down. Pirates, though, start off leading 1-0. Josh Bell, a 2-out single. Now the Pirates with that early lead, and now it'll be up to Garrett Cole to shut down Milwaukee. And Craig Counsell's lineup, Eric Sogard atop the order today with Neil Walker in his third game of the Brewers. Domingo Santana, then Travis Shaw, who has been swinging a hot bat. Jesus Aguilar gets the start at first. Manny Pena behind the plate. Hernan Perez at left. Keon Broxton, the ex-Pirate, and then Jimmy Nelson.
And Garrett Cole looking to go 11-8. Is a 3.96 ERA, 25th start, approaching 150 innings, 132 strikeouts. The home run number, that's the only thing kind of off with Garrett this year. It's a career high, by far the 23 homers. But man, has he been good against these Brewers this year. 3 starts, he's gone 7 in all 3. An ERA of just 1.29.
That's a big reason why the Pirates are where they're at in the standings. The 3 teams that are currently ahead of the Pirates. Pirates have done well. They're 19-14 against the Brewers, Cubs, and Cardinals. 8-4 against these Brewers this season. And the way that this thing is going, of course, baseball, I think, very smartly puts together a lot of the divisional games in that tail end of the season. Pirates no exception. And a big stretch of games within the Central.
It should be fun in all these Central cities, except probably Cincinnati. But most of these division games should draw nice crowds.
Of the next 37, including today, 33 within the division. Of those, 24 against the Brewers, Cubs, and Cardinals, the 3 teams separating the Pirates from the postseason. So it's all right there in front.
Yep, should be fun.
Sogard an easy first out. Cole gets the leadoff man to start things. And the defense behind him, Chris Stewart, will be his battery mate today. In the infield, Freese, Mercer, Harrison, and Bell. Marte, McCutchen, and Adam Frazier out there in right field. So Stewart getting back-to-back days as the starter. Trying to get Francisco Cervelli with the off day on Monday, 3 straight days of rest. And the thought is that he should be able to go tomorrow. Neil Walker 1 for 3 yesterday. In case you're wondering, wait a minute, wasn't he on the Mets? Just traded over the weekend, traded on Saturday, joined the Brewers on Sunday.
Hot to see those numbers his last 4 games.
Weird to see him in Brewers colors.
Yeah.
Very familiar with one another. Longtime teammates. And an easy play. So 2 weak ground balls against Garrett Cole.
And that's been the key to success for Garrett against these Brewers this year. I mean, over the course of the year, his ground ball percentage is about 46%. Against these Brewers, 67%.
Wow.
And Milwaukee's hit just 153 against them coming into this game.
Well, maybe try to exploit their free swinging nature, right?
Yeah.
Throw them stuff that's not good if they make contact with it. Pirates lead all of baseball in strikeouts. Santana among the leaders in the National League, 4th most. Eric Thames high on that list as well. Keon Broxton, who's in there today, the same. Now they hit a good amount of home runs, 7th most. But yeah, they're going to swing.
Yeah.
leave it on Santana.
You get that pitch right there, and you can stay down and away for strikes. And that's the easiest way to get ahead. Just pick that outside corner apart.
And he sends down Santana looking. And a very tidy first inning for Garrett Cole.
TNT Sportsnet is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, the largest health system rated #1 in the region for all the things that matter most. And by Kenny Ross Subaru, Total Confidence Pricing. Let's go Bucks!
Through an inning and a sunshiny afternoon here in Milwaukee. 1-0 Pirates. Good start to try to split these two games. Pitchers battle yesterday. Milwaukee prevailed 3-1 in that affair. Roof open today. Not a cloud in the sky.
This park is much nicer with the roof open. Not a big fan of it with it closed.
I love outdoor baseball. Finding a seam. And Walker still with enough time to retire Freeze.
Neil Walker's made a few nice plays in this series. Ball right up over the mound, sliding. Even had a little trouble getting rid of it and still had plenty of time to get Freeze. 2 steps.
Walker played third base on Sunday in his first game with the Brewers. Trying to figure out what they got. There's Milwaukee trying to add. And they're just going to fit them in wherever they can. Adam Frazier fitting back into the lineup. He's been since the All-Star break, he's been the best hitter for the Pirates, at over 350.
Six hits this road trip.
Had two out hits yesterday, including a run-scoring triple. Andy Fletcher said he went.
Boy, this pitch took off. It was like a slider running in on him. And it wasn't that. Actually, it looked like it was on the plate. Frazier couldn't hold up the swing. But yeah, I was just looking. We showed the numbers of the struggling offense this road trip, and I saw not great numbers for Frazier, 6 for 26 on the trip, but he and Bell came in tied for the most hits on this trip at 6. Now Bell with a 7th, that RBI base hit in the first.
This is the 7th game of the trip.
Yeah.
I think that tells the story.
A lot of struggling hitters. Marte picked up his 6th hit of the trip in the first.
Very little extra base hits as well. 3-2. The Pirates, I mean, for the whole season, they've got the 4th fewest runs scored in all of baseball, so per game. So that's been an issue as they look to try to find the right mix. They've had relative health, but of course, you think about 3 of their top 4 guys in slugging percentage they hadn't had for much or any of the year from last season.
And he talked to Jeff Branson about it yesterday, and he talked, he won't use it as an excuse. He goes, we have big league players here, so you can't use the excuse that, well, we didn't have Marte for 80 games.
Right.
Jung Ho Gun hasn't been here, and McCutcheon struggled early, and Polanco's been hurt. I mean, you can easily sit there and make excuses, but stick with your approach and go out there and battle. They should score runs.
Out toward Broxton. Who wants it? Sogard. Nope, it's Broxton that ends up squeezing that one. Sogard's got to get some glasses.
Broxton needs to.
Scoreboard 1-0. Pirates have the advantage. And this Saturday, we're honoring youth baseball and softball here on AT&T Sportsnet, and we want to hear from you about how your favorite little leaguer and his and her team, what they've done this season. So post a picture, maybe a brief story about how they did it. Send it on Twitter or Instagram with the hashtag BucksBooth, and we'll show them on Saturday when the Pirates take on the Cardinals. So let us recognize all those great youth baseball teams in and around the area. Looks like a few of the participants making their way here. Travis Shaw has hit in 8 straight. Having a fine year. You talk about the Brewers and the youth movement. They've tried to retool. I guess that's a softer word for rebuild, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a guy like Shaw, who they picked up in a deal for Tyler Thornburg, who was their closer for half the season. And you know, he's not a young prospect. I mean, he's been around a little bit, and you know, still 27 years old, on the younger side. But you know, they get a guy like that who's been their cleanup man, most consistent hitter all year. That's the kind of stuff that maybe takes the Brewers from, you know, still rebuilding mode to where they are this year, and that's been in the thick of things.
Yeah, you think he and Thames early on, Thames once it carried the offense, but had a lot to do with it. And you know, a guy like Shaw, I think you have to be a little lucky as well. I mean, I think of Justin Smoke in Toronto, another guy that really has underachieved until this year, and then you end up changing uniforms and taking off. And but I don't think anybody could have predicted Shaw was going to have the year he's having, or that Smoke is having the year he's having in Toronto. I mean,
and Cole put in right where he wants it. 97.
look where Stewart sets up. Look where Stewart catches it. I mean, that's perfect pitching, perfect location.
If a pitcher does what he's intending to do almost all the time, that pretty much negates the hitter, right? If the
more
game plan
times
is
than
sound,
not,
right?
yeah, more times than not, if you can execute your pitches and throw it where you want to, sure. You make the hitter have to adjust to where you're able to locate. And I think, you know, we see bigger arms, more velocity now than I think ever before in the game. And I think with the bigger arm, the one thing that's not the same is being able to locate it. You know, I don't know why, and I could be wrong about this, but I think back into the 90s, it seemed like, you know, when a pitcher needed a strike, he can throw a fastball down and away on the corner for a strike. Now the zone was a little bit wider, but still, it was like, it seemed to me that the command was so much better where they needed, you know, you got a dangerous hitter, and I could just throw a two-seamer away for strike one, where you're not going to get hurt, and most times the hitter won't even swing it, or a 2-0 changeup for a strike, or a breaking ball 2-0 for a strike. You know, hitters counts being able to locate a pitch where you're not going to be hurt. See, Garrett Cole has the ability to do this, and when he's on location-wise, I mean, it's going to be a long afternoon for the opposing offense.
And so far, 5 up and 5 down. Nothing hit hard at all. Three ground outs, 2 strikeouts looking. Manny Pena. Everything's been on the edges pretty much.
And I think Ivan Nova did a nice job of that in last night's game. I mean, he was all around the strike zone. He wasn't in the heart of the strike zone for much of the night. I mean, put it where he wanted to.
Talking with Ivan before the game today about that outing. He used the changeup quite more often, trying to, not really using that curveball to that third time around the order, trying to shake up what they were doing differently. But yeah, but also, like you said, locating better than he had in recent starts too.
I mean, he was having success being aggressive in the strike zone, and I think teams became more aggressive and ended up making better contact, and so he kind of had to go and work the edges more.
Softly hit, but a base hit for Pena.
In fact, I know that was one of Ivan's post-game remarks, is he wasn't afraid of walking a guy. You know, I'll pitch around the guy here and there, which we don't ever see him do or haven't seen him do. Is pretty good slider, pretty good location. Sometimes a perfect pitch you're not rewarded for. Hitter with a bat, as Clint Hurdle would say, a swinging bat's a dangerous bat. Not that, hopefully nothing comes of that. A little blooper.
Yeah, Nova only gave up 4 singles yesterday. Take the sting out of the bat is the phrase I've heard floating around a lot this year. And I mean, that ball right there, that's just a little flare over the infield. Hernan Perez. He's played off and on as a starter this year. A versatile younger player.
That's the interesting thing about the Brewers offense. Okay, you sit there, oh yeah, they strike out a lot. They're up there swinging. But you make a mistake to anyone in this lineup, they could turn the score around.
Yeah.
You know, that threat of hitting the long ball. I mean, you can go out and strike out 15 Brewers, but you give up a bloop and make a mistake and give up a blast, 2 runs.
Like Keon Broxton leading off pinch hitting.
Adding an insurance run last night. And that was on a good pitch. The pitch was right at the knees, outer half of the plate. Broxton put a good swing on it.
Well, David Stearns has built this team like his predecessor, Doug Melvin, did for this ballpark. It's a home run hitter's ballpark. You got 9 guys with double-digit home runs. McCutcheon's having fun with the game. He didn't have to move there and get the final out. Still 1-0.
You probably heard about Stephen Brault, the year he's having at AAA. But when you look at the Indianapolis rotation for the past month, it's been a microcosm of what everyone has been able to do in that rotation. As we get a look at what everybody's done for pretty much the last month since July 20th. Look at Nick Kingham, an ERA under 1. Brault speaks for itself. Glass now an ERA of 1.67. Clay Holmes in his first year back from Tommy John surgery, full season I should say, under 2. And Drew Hutchinson is under a 4 ERA. And Stephen Brault has been a really big story this season for the Buccos guys. When you look at the weekly award, by the way, second time this year he's won the International League's Pitcher of the Week. He threw 14 scoreless innings, 4th weekly award of his career. Now his ERA leads the International League. For the season, he's pitching to a 1.94 ERA. And the only other Indianapolis Indians pitcher to finish with a sub-2 ERA and lead the league was back in 1916, a guy named Paul Carter. So Stephen Brault, yeah, he's not with the big club, but he might be making a little bit of history in AAA with this year.
Well, thanks, Robbie. You know, and to be able these days to have that kind of ERA down at AAA, you either got to be like 38 and you're just hanging on, which teams don't really do that anymore, or you've got to have good health and good starting pitching at the major league level. And that's, you know, the Pirates, we've talked about the offense and needing help there. You never can have too much pitching, and the Pirates have had good health and good performance from that starting rotation. They haven't needed all those guys.
It's been remarkable.
At least not yet.
Yeah. And Chris Stewart, line drive base hit last night, line drive base hit first time here. But yeah, it's been pretty remarkable what that staff has done, not only this year but last year as well. I mean, there's talent down there, and I know it hasn't exactly transferred over to this level yet, but you figure with experience, for instance, both Trevor Williams and Chad Kuhl, look what they've done with the experience they've gained here at the big league level, continuing to pitch better at this level, and yeah, those guys will get their chance sooner or later.
That is in play. Over 2. And raises the leadoff hit. When you talk about pitching, pitching is now so much more at a premium.
Yeah, can't have enough of it, like you said. And, not exactly sure why the slug bunt was on there, and this is why, you know, it's a risky play. The safe play, bunt the ball to first base, you get a runner in scoring position, especially against, or especially with, a struggling offense. And then Garrett Cole, I'm assuming, took it upon himself to try to slug bunt, and you erase a valuable base runner. There just haven't been that many base runners, so you don't want to erase any if you can help it.
Play goes 1-6-3. Marte with 2 outs now. You think about how offense has been up throughout baseball. Marte is 2 for 2. That one had some sting in it.
And again, that's I don't understand. I don't understand the slug bunt there. Why are we not just sacrificing? And you know, it's a potential run, or at least an opportunity.
Yeah.
And again, you can't afford to waste the opportunities. There just haven't been enough. There haven't been enough runs being scored by this team. You got to maximize, not minimize.
Well, you'd figure first and third with 1 out right now. Fly ball sneaks you another run across against a tough pitcher in Nelson. Let's see what they can do with 2 outs. Marte probably going to try to get into scoring position. Nelson has allowed 14 steals. But with with home runs up, with offense up in baseball, in free agency, it's going to be a lot easier now to find a guy that can hit you 25-30 home runs, which the Pirates need some of that type of stuff going forward here, than it is to find, say, a starting pitcher that can give you a 4 ERA and pitch 170 innings. Marte is in. Stolen base number 10.
And for that matter, it's easier to find a guy that can hit 25 home runs than it is to find a guy that hits 280 or 290. I mean,
that's true
averages
too.
Throughout baseball are down. And we talked about Nelson and opportunities to run against him, and Marte taking advantage.
Even Bell tried to run in that first inning. So it looks like the Pirates will be aggressive on the base paths today. And why not? You know, like you said, with run scoring being a challenge, if the right opportunity presents itself. When you look at, still talking about the depth of the Pirates pitching, if you can
head first slide, just beating a very strong and accurate throw, and able to stay on that bag as he went over it.
Now 3-0. Base hit can score. Marte going forward, if you can have players that are at the major league level and not making 8 figures, whether they're in your bullpen or in your rotation, that helps a team like the Pirates have money to allocate in other spots. Delayed strike call.
McCutcheon running up there, giving Jay Hay the bat. I don't ever recall seeing Josh Harrison do this on ball 4.
There's a little delay here, that's why.
And boy, there's actually 2 of the 4 pitches in the strike zone. But a 3-1 count.
Now ball 4.
And you can argue that one was in the strike zone as well. At the very top of the strike zone.
Well, Pirates trying to put something together here with 2 outs. Inning started with a base hit by Stewart. Cole slug bunting into a double play, and then Marte with a line single. Harrison works the walk, and this has been one of the rare times that we've seen, especially multiple men aboard for Andrew McCutchen. He's been coming up with the bases empty a lot on this road trip. Joe West.
An opportunity in the first, and another opportunity here, and a little cool down period for Andrew. He only has 2 hits this road trip. I mean, you had to figure, with as hot as he was for as long, that there would be a mini slump or two involved. But I think since that end of May, that period in time where he started catching fire after that Atlanta series when the Pirates were in Atlanta. Yeah, I don't know if he's had a stretch like this. 2 for 16. 2 for 17 now on this trip.
He still hasn't had 3 straight games without a hit since prior to that back in May. But since the All-Star break, hitting .263, still with power, still driving in runs, and still walking almost as much as he strikes out. So, you know, a month of hitting .263 after 2 months of hitting what, 400 and 350?
Yeah.
But still producing. And has a chance here. Add to the Pirate lead.
He left that slider just up enough, did Nelson. We'll throw a slider and a curveball. Top of the zone.
Marte can score on a base hit. Harrison runs well at first. Now the count is even.
That's a good take. That's a pitch, and Nelson threw it right where he wanted to. He was hoping to get a chase from Andrew McCutchen. And he starts it on the plate. Boy, that thing is dangling on the outer half of the plate almost the entire flight, the last 10 feet or so. It breaks just off the edge. Good pitch recognition there from Andrew.
Sent out toward the gap. Marte's going to score easily. Harrison will be able to get to third, and a 2-out RBI single from Andrew McCutchen. The Pirates lead 2-0.
I'll tell you what, I mean, you go back to that pitch where he took that slider, and Nelson came back with that same slider this last pitch, and Andrew, whether he was sitting on it or not, who knows, but he went out and got it, and not trying to do too much, just a quick little short swing out in the gap. Nice job there by Broxton, getting the ball in quickly, keeping McCutchen to a single, keeping Harrison from scoring.
He's at third now. McCutchen's 72nd run batted in. Josh Bell had a 2-out hit his first time to bring in a run. Trying to repeat that feat. Pirates leading 2-0. And now Bell in a good count, 2-0. 4 of the 5 Pirates have reached in this inning. Harrison drew a walk. McCutchen driving in Marte. He stands at first. Nelson still got a pretty good fastball. Enough to challenge. Big right-hander, 6'6", 250. Full strength.
Breaking ball there. I think that more of the curveball, more downward break.
Now full, missing with the fastball, 3-2. David Freese would be next. Pirates with a run across. Andrew McCutchen driving in the run. He'll be on the move. Trying to score Harrison here with 2 outs. Hit down the line. And that's a base hit for Josh Bell. McCutchen will get into third. And another 2-out RBI single for Bell. 3-0.
Yeah, that's clutch. Once again, 2-out RBI base hits are huge. And Josh Bell with 2 of them. And this is, you see the 3, that's the pitch that he swung through. The 6, the breaking ball, he came and left it up out over the plate. The fastball, he got by Josh Bell. When you hang a breaking ball with 2 strikes, it's going to get hit more times than not. Interesting pitch selection.
Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, out. Remember, Nelson's coming off of his toughest outing of the season after rolling off basically a half a season's worth of really good starts. And the Pirates just picking away at him here. 4 singles and a walk in the inning.
1 away from that 4, that magic number 4, where the Pirates have an amazing record when scoring 4.
Again, a testament to the pitching.
They haven't lost a game since the end of June when they've scored 4 runs.
Well, that's probably why that was one of your tips, huh?
I mean, it's really amazing. Not only that, the 4 being the number where they've got a record of 51-11, but they've only won 7 when scoring less than 3 or less. They've only won 7 all year. And I think only 1 on the road where they've scored less than 4.
Well, you usually don't win too many of those games, but you usually don't have that good of a record when you score 4 runs because your pitching's usually not holding serve.
But I mean, there's 3-2 games out there. There's 2-1 games out there. There's
Pirates have not done well in those types of ball games.
Amazing that they've only won 7 all year. The Brewers have won 14 when they've scored 3 or less.
And the Pirates have had similar pitching to the Brewers this year. Just a tick above baseball's average. Freese was ahead 3-0, now 3-2.
Yeah, I look back and I forgot the Pirates played the Yankees. They beat the Yankees 2-1. They beat these Milwaukee.
Remember that Cardinals series? All 2-1 losses.
Yeah, that's right. In St. Louis. And they beat the Milwaukee at home 2-1 and 10. They've shut out Philly 1-0 and 3-0.
David Freese comes through with a 2-out hit. And with Bell on the move, he'll get to third. Henry Ford invented it, and the Pirates are perfecting it.
And that's, again, 2-out clutch base hit. And the Brewers and Jimmy Nelson were pounding David Freese in. Look at all the pitches in. And this one in. Right on the edge. He pulls those hands in as well as anybody. David Freese not trying to pull off, really trying to stay inside and through the ball. Muscles it out there.
Pirates have scored all their runs with 2 outs. McCutchen, Bell twice, and Freese all with 2-out RBI singles. 5 straight men have reached with 2 outs. And now Adam Frazier. There's your magic 4.
Yep. It's interesting that I mentioned. I'm going to quit talking about it after this. But the 7 wins when the Pirates have scored less than 4. 2 of the 7 were against these Brewers in extra innings. 3-2 and 2-1.
With a lot of tight games. Out to Perez. And that will end it. Pirates sent 8 men to the plate. 5 straight men reached with 2 outs. They score 3 times and lead 4-0. With the Bucks and some of the best bands in the burg during Friday Night Rocks. Get tuned into Pittsburgh's music scene as we showcase local artists and tracks throughout every Friday Night Pirates broadcast. Eternal Boy will be this week's performer as the Bucks play host to the Cardinals on Friday Night Rocks, presented by IC Light. And right here this afternoon, 4-0 Pirates. They have strung together 7 singles. Andrew McCutchen the first, Bell the second, and Freeze the third of 3 straight 2-out singles driving a run.
Talked about this a little bit last night. The team hitting just 245 overall. And you're not hitting for power. To produce runs, you got to string together your hits. And get 5 hits in an inning.
Broxton out toward the wall. And over it. He's homered again. Homered yesterday in a pinch hit at bat. And going to the opposite field for home run number 18. And like you said, Rock, that's what makes this team dangerous. Anybody can hit it out at any time.
Not a lot different than the pitch he hit out last night. It's down and away. I mean, maybe a little above the knee. The pitch was a little lower, actually, in last night's game. And, just looked like a line drive that might get to the wall. Surprised it went out.
A little bit of a breeze today. Been blowing more in from left. The dimensions here, though, especially to the gaps, are quite friendly. But Broxton has power. He has speed. He also strikes out a whole bunch. He is imperfect. but can be capable, and that's why Brewers took a chance on him. Pirates did not have at that time the opportunity for an outfielder. This year they may have had more of one than in years past.
And you still have to wonder what kind of player is Keon Broxton. I mean, the power numbers are nice. The strikeout numbers aren't. I mean, is he an everyday player? I mean, they're kind of finding out here in Milwaukee, but very low batting average, doesn't drive in a lot of runs.
Plays a good defense, covers a lot of ground. But I think the jury's still out whether or not he's a fourth outfielder. 140 strikeouts,
second most in the league, and 27 years old too.
And that's 333 at bats. So
now the Brewers had to send him down to the minor leagues earlier this year, try to get him back right. He's had some stretches where he's been hot, and then sometimes he'll go 3 weeks with 3 hits.
Now you like the athletic package, you like the power, you like the speed, but again, that's a lot of swing and miss.
And for Cole now has allowed 24 home runs. He'd never allowed more than 11 in a season. One of those things where really now it's been, he might give up one in a start. It's usually a solo home run and it's no big deal, but he's, the cumulative effect of that, even though home runs are higher than ever in baseball, you still look at that and go, wow, how could he might end up being triple of any season what he's had by the end of the year.
That is strange. See him allow that many long balls.
That's hard to figure out why.
14 coming off the fastball now.
But when it's the leadoff batter or base is empty or whatever, here in this ballpark, we talked about when we began the broadcast today, is that you survive this park, not quite to the same extent. Ray Searage doesn't have to put on his counselor's hat for Coors Field, like you would here, but there are some tweener balls that will end up over the wall. First walk of the day.
We talked about how nice this ballpark is with the roof open, and the issue is for a hitter, the roof open, shadows creep in early, and that may pose a problem here as we go later in the game. I've always felt when the pitcher was in the sun, it's still okay. I mean, you can still see the ball because you see the ball coming out of the hand, but when that shadow creeps past the mound, the ball comes out darker, harder to pick up.
And then you have that very bright splashed center field, which hitters have told me that becomes difficult. And they've even tried to partially close the roof during some day games to try to offset that somewhat. But especially as the year goes on, the sun lower in the sky, and you get more and more of that shadow earlier.
It's different to be in the middle of a 1 o'clock game and deal with shadows. You usually don't see the shadows or have to deal with them until later.
Walker deep out to right, and the Brewers quickly get 3 back. Neil Walker homers for the first time as a Brewer, and just like that, they've got 3 right back.
You said the solo home run at times it can't hurt you, but a 2-run homer,
After
Especially
a walk?
after a walk. Yeah, the walk, that's the one that you sit there and scratch your head. Neil Walker's always been a good changeup hitter too, boy. And he was like, he swung at that like he knew it was coming.
11th home run, first as a Brewer. And in his short time facing the Pirates, Neil Walker has really gotten to the Pirates. Five homers, 12 RBIs in the 12 games that he's faced the Pirates.
That is pretty remarkable, considering 5 home runs in just a year and a half. I mean, it couldn't be 20 games yet, could it?
12 in 5 home runs in 12 games. 12 RBIs. Frazier able to take care of that one. Nothing off the belt loops.
Yeah, good play. It kind of disappeared from my view. And I knew he was running out of room down that right field line, but made it look easy. Basket catch right before banging into the wall.
Travis Shaw struck out looking his first time. So a couple of home runs. Broxton and Walker, 2 ex-Pirates, putting up 3 runs so far in this inning. Pirates had a 4-run advantage to start, down to 1. These two teams have played close games. The last 7 all decided by 2 runs or fewer, and back within that margin yet again. Now even on Shaw.
Nice pick.
Similar ball ate up Harrison last night. He's able to make that play. Not easy. And the Brewers now within 1.
Rav 4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
4th inning. Both teams put up a 3-spot in that 3rd inning. Keon Broxton leading off the frame with a home run. Neil Walker, his first home run with Milwaukee. 2-run shot following that walk to Sogard. Both teams are doing it kind of in the ways that they've scored runs all year, right? The Brewers, some long balls, the Pirates stringing together a bunch of singles. Got to get back to work now against Jimmy Nelson, bottom of the order coming up. Sure, 2 for 19 lifetime against Nelson. Nelson out of the University of Alabama.
Why did he throw it?
That's a ball.
I mean, he tripped, obviously. I don't understand why he threw it. He didn't have to throw it.
Well, as someone right down the hall from us would say, it was just a bit outside.
He hangs on to it. It's not a ball.
No one on base, not a balk. Yeah. Yeah, that's where'd that show up in the strike zone? Doesn't.
What possessed him to throw it? What did he think he was going to accomplish when he let
He
go of the ball?
probably slipped out of his hand, don't you think?
No, he tried to throw it.
All I know is Jimmy Nelson is quite the competitor, and I bet you in his mind he still thought he might be able to get it over the plate.
Which would have been a bad thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Leadoff man gone here with the Pirates' fourth. So from one pitcher to another for the Brewers, we'll check in on our Allegheny Health Network injury update. And Chase Anderson set to return on Sunday against the Rockies in Denver. He's had an oblique strain that has kept him out for a good part of this season. He was their best pitcher, best starting pitcher, with that sub-3 earned run average. So now you look at what, Davies has come back on. Nelson is pitching well for Craig Counsell's Brewers. If Anderson pitches anything like what he was doing before, and Garza's had a decent season.
If he was smart, he'd say, I need another day.
Pitch me wherever we are Monday. I think they go to San Francisco or something like that. Yeah.
One more day.
Yeah. That's Chase Anderson. Been working on that Fu Manchu. That's nice. Kind of a Vukovich-like. Pete Vukovich, ex-Brewer Cy Young Award winner. That might be this. That's the second major league reference that we've had now this year. Yeah, big clue.
Vuk is quite the actor.
Garrett Cole out on deck. Steve Yeager was did a lot of the catching for Jake Taylor, the Tom Berenger, the catcher. Stewart count all in strikes. Earl grimacing after some of those calls last night. That one looked to be fair.
That's right there, right on the edge.
That was a weird game yesterday. Some of the replays, non-replays, close plays, balls and strikes. One of those every now and then. Here today, two good young pitchers, two teams near each other in the standings. but accomplishing it in the different fashions offensively. Nelson, after a 30-pitch third inning, a 1-2-3 fourth with a couple of strikeouts. Along into this one, bottom of the fourth on our UPMC scoreboard. 4-3. The Buccos have the advantage. And want to say get well soon. That arm in a sling for Dan Hart. Poor guy who's in our communications department, just taking a stroll and got hit with a bike. Run over with by a bicyclist, and has a broken elbow. And Danny is good a man as you'll find in this business, and at what he does in person. And good luck with pending surgery. Told him to tell his girls to not hang from that arm for a little while.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Two young daughters at home.
So random.
Good thing he's right-handed.
Yes.
But he didn't even tell anybody. He was banged up. He just was walking around yesterday with a broken elbow. Didn't even know it.
Yeah. Said he went to the pool and trying to work on the range of motion and everything. Came to the ballpark, had it looked at.
One tough guy. So hopefully Danny will be better soon. And the athletic training staff taking care of Danny, which is great. We got such a great staff here. They take care of the players well. Injuries have been way down. There's Ben Potenziano, Brendan Hutman, and all the rest of the Pirates crew.
Had to take care of Bob earlier in the trip.
That's right. We have well wishes for Bob, who should be rejoining us tomorrow. Hopefully, he'd fallen under the weather. Exchanging maybe conditioners. So Greg Brown working solo on the radio broadcast. Giving us all the detail. We're playing hurt here on the road. Yeah. Just getting started in the first game, huh? Yeah.
I'm really hoping that our crew showing that isn't implying that Bob's a big baby. Bob said he couldn't get out of bed for 2 days.
He was really under the weather. He didn't say anything about it either. But you know what? He'll be here for back at PNC Park for fireworks night, which is coming up on Friday. The Pirates will host the Cardinals at 7:05. And those Zambelli fireworks will light up the Pittsburgh skyline. It's all presented by 84 Lumber. Plus, before the game, make sure you check out that block party on Federal Street. Go to pirates.com/fireworks. Pick up your tickets. One of the great Brewers of all time, the Hall of Famer Robin Yount. One of the nicest men you'll meet in and around the game as well. So an 8-pitch walk to Aguilar to start. And the other walk that Cole issued came around to score on a home run by Neil Walker. Pena with a base hit back in the second.
Right by him. 96.
Pena grounded into a double play last night. Asked for time. It is granted. A little trouble figuring this out here. While we have a moment, I also want to wish a happy birthday to our scorebox operator, David Day. Happy birthday, David. And my sister Jenny as well celebrates her birthday today back in Mount Clemens, Michigan. So she's working today, but David gives us the balls and strikes. Pretty good ratio so far for Mr. Cole.
Apparently Garrett wanted to go up and in with a fastball with that 0-2 pitch. Pena able to waste it.
And strike 3. Painting that fastball on the outer edge. It's 3 strikeouts, looking 4 overall.
Well, let's take a look. W.B. Mason strike zone shows that pitch. Generous.
He's got to add another Payne over there, and then yeah, it's right. Yeah, it's just right there. Yeah, let's make it a 4x4 instead of 3x3.
Work it out there. Why not? Stay out there.
That's a little farther than the other one, but yeah, the same idea, right?
Yeah.
See if you get strike 1 there, and
especially early, sure. It's a good way to start a hitter.
now behind 2-0. Cole was able to go 8 innings in his last start. Had very few innings where kind of stretched out. Pitch number 70 gets him the second out in the 4th.
Perez was looking for the ball up and in, and boy, he was thinking about nothing but hitting a ball in the ballpark. Took a pretty good swing at it, considering the pitch was off the plate. End up.
Roxton homered his last time, leading off the 3rd inning. That will disappear amongst the Patriots. Another good assembly here today. Now on the sun side, you get some people, but almost everybody sits on the shade side. Warm day.
Some groups dressed alike.
And some dressed unalike. Cole ahead, 0-2. Broxton very briefly with the Pirates back in 15. He just went 0 for 2. But came up for a couple of seasons with the Pirates, originally out of the Diamondbacks system. He pitched against Andrew McCutchen back in high school. They grew up in a similar area. Lakeland is where Broxton is from. And as he recalls it, Broxton was a freshman, Kutch was a senior, and said McCutchen hit a home run off.
He works himself back into the count from 0-2 to 3-2.
I'd like to get through this inning and have the pitcher leading off the next. Nelson. He struck him out. Garrett Cole fans Broxton to end it, so the leadoff walk left on, and the Pirates still have the lead. Building that lead early. A lot of Pirate fans making their way here to Milwaukee. Maybe some are in the area. Look, some of our Point Park social media supporting the Pirates here at the Brewers game today. Thanks, Lisa, for sending that in. Adam, all the way from West Virginia. Making sure Robbie stays focused on the game. Robbie sharing some stuff on the AT&T Sportsnet account. Yeah, he's the one that's behind the scenes on this very hot day. Yeah, he's providing all the great things that you see on the AT&T Sportsnet pit.
Today should be a golf shirt day. Poor Robbie, melting.
Looked, yeah, a little perspiration. What about Trent? Trent's also in the sun. Oh, Trent's melting.
At least he's not in a shirt and tie.
Robbie, why don't you wear a short sleeve or
Tale of two
something?
outfits today. Trent's on t-shirt day today. I'm in a shirt and tie right now. The coat's taking a rest. Sun's beating down pretty good, but it looks like it's moving this way. Should be covered by the roof in about 2 more innings. That's my guess.
You need that parasol that Orlando Arcia had earlier when he was doing that standoff.
Joe, I know you know people in Milwaukee. Make that happen, all right?
All right, we got to get you some cover. Yeah, Robbie's out there in that sun. That's why, like, 3/4 of the people were out on the shadow side of this ballpark today, because few people want the sun. Clearly, some people don't like the sun.
Yeah, very nice, comfy in here.
No difference. No difference. Brownie, that's a man that enjoys a little bit of the sunshine and some of the great leisures of audio only. Golf shirt on today. Now we were talking about this standoff that was going on earlier. Elias Diaz staying out after the anthem. Orlando Arcia of the Brewers doing the same thing, and the teammates trying to see how long they could stay out there, try to sustain them. A little eye black to stay through all that. Maybe something to do. And then the parasol I referred to, like an umbrella, basically. Put over Arcia. Elias Diaz won the competition because the game was about to start.
Yeah, I'm guessing they were out there quite a long time.
Yeah, see, that's what Robbie needs right there. Ask Jesus Aguilar. And then up, yep. So Diaz wins it. He stuck around longer. Having some fun before the game.
Parasol. We call that an umbrella.
Well, yes, that is another term for that. Yeah. In that, when you're using it for the sun, ornamentally, that would be more of a parasol. That's an umbrella, though. What do you use? Yeah.
We're seeing more and more strikeouts. I mentioned it, and it might be a problem, maybe not, but we talked earlier about how that shadow gets beyond the pitcher's mound. It gets more difficult for the hitter to see. You look at the last now 9 batters that have come to the plate, 6 of them have struck out.
For both teams.
Yeah, between the two. And yeah, it's difficult to see when the pitcher's curling out of the shadow.
8-pitch inning for Jimmy Nelson. The Pirates have the lead. 4-3 on this sunny Wednesday afternoon here in Milwaukee. Look at some of our tweets. Thanks to Point Park. Murray Cook letting us know what's going on in Williamsport. Outfield wall padding going up. The first MLB Little League Classic. And there's the press area that's going in. A completely renovated field. Bowman Field, which is 91 years young now. Looking brand new. And there'll be a lot of lineage there from the Pirates. Of course, having a farm team there years back. And Tom Prince began his coaching career there. Clint Hurdle, early in his coaching career, managed a Double-A team. It used to be a Double-A team there back in the early 90s. Here's Clint. The Williamsport Bills back in 1991. He was the skipper. And don't forget to send your pictures of your youth baseball and softball teams. Go to hashtag, send it on hashtag Bucks Booth, Twitter or Instagram. And we'll show them on Saturday. That game will be on Sunday. That game will count. It is the Pirates and the Cardinals. It is not an exhibition game. It is a home game for the Pirates that will be played in Williamsport. It'll be the first home game for the Pirates outside of Pittsburgh since they played a couple of games in September of 1890. One in Canton, one in Wheeling. So that's been a while. That'll be fun.
These at bats the last couple of innings have been a struggle for both sides.
Well, they've toyed sometimes when the Brewers were last in the postseason. They toyed with different starting times. They tried to, because of television, some of the games down the stretch of the season, trying to start some games more in the mid-afternoon. Sometimes they open the roof partially to try to get the shadows in a way where, like you said, you can have a better backdrop for the hitters. Let's go back to our studios, check in with Rob King. He's got a game break. Thank you, Rob. Yeah, that Michael A. Taylor. I think he's going to be one of the names that we get to know here. Good young player in the coming years. Now getting a chance to play every day. You talk about the difficulty to hit here at certain times of day, and that's fortunate. The Pirates have the lead right now.
Yeah.
Try to get some of those runs early, and then maybe a little bit later on toward the end of the game, and might be an easier backdrop for the hitter. But later on, then some light creeps in from the windows here, and sometimes that could be also doubly tough for the hitter.
And that's what I'm wondering. The only thing that would be worse is if the sun starts shining on the batter's eye, and then again, you're still looking at shadows in the infield and a brighter background.
You ever try to take a picture of two people standing in front of a bright window or something like that, and you go, how come this doesn't come out? I mean, it's got to be something similar to that, right? In your eyes, it's tough to adjust with that bright background.
I mean, you got to figure hitting is very, very difficult, and as it is, especially with the arms that are out there nowadays. You try to recognize spin, breaking pitches, and anytime you add in another obstacle like shadows, and that's where I've always felt it was unfair when they have especially the early rounds of the playoffs, when they start throwing 4 o'clock games in there, because you're not used to playing at 4 o'clock. Although the Pirates will play a 4 o'clock game next week, the getaway day next Thursday. Ooh.
Base hit for Neil Walker. Able to connect on that. I think that's the first hit since those shadows have come in for either team. Pirates will also play at 4:05 on Saturday. Coming up.
Yeah, you'd hope for overcast when you start at 4. As Neil Walker continues to swing it, it doesn't matter. It seems of late, last handful of games for Neil, what the conditions have been like.
So Santana, who's 0 for 2.
This is another thing. If you're a first baseman right now, and you're kind of hoping that they're not going to throw over in this ballpark, because you've got the sun on the third base side, a lot of white shirts. And again, Garrett Cole's throwing from a shadow. It could be difficult to see the pitcher throw over too with the bright background.
Oh yeah. I mean, look at how stark that is.
White and bright, and again, the ball's coming out of the dark. Well, not dark, but the shade.
And he strikes out Santana. So Cole strikes out 3 in the inning. And the Pirates leading through 5, 4-3. Early run in the first. 2-out rally for the Buccos. Andrew McCutchen with a 2-out single, and that continued. Bell, who did it in the first, did it again in the third, scoring Josh Harrison, and then David Freese getting in on the act. Pirates building a 4-0 lead, all on singles, 5 in that inning, and the Brewers do it a different way.
Broxton going oppo after a walk. Neil Walker hits change up into the Pirates bullpen.
A couple ex-Buccos going deep against Cole in that third.
And all that scoring with the pitcher in the sun.
Walker's hit last inning, the only time we've seen really any solid contact since the shadows have enveloped. Bell 2 for 2 with those two out singles. David Freese had one. He's next.
Ouch.
Fouled it off his leg. Hey, Bell has been in that cleanup spot pretty much against right-handers for a while now. Did a nice job.
Jumping away from the ball and fouled it right off the shin. And
I talked to him last month about that, and the reason he does that is because a lot of times once he starts committing a swing on a breaking pitch like that, a lot of guys, they give up on it. They're gonna miss. He tries to somehow make contact.
then he manages. He left his feet, both feet. Another thing too, how many guys wear shin guards, everything else like that? He just fouled a ball off his shin and you wouldn't even know it. And it hurt. It hurts him just as much as it hurts anybody else. It takes 5 minutes to shake it off. It's pretty impressive right there, because that ball went directly off his shin. How many guys do you see there walk around and limp, and then the trainer comes out and blah blah blah. And Josh Bell just acts like it didn't hurt at all. There's no doubt that is going to leave a bruise.
Don't give the other team any advantage, right? Thinking they got you. Twisting down the line and foul. They remember they always tell you, get your foot down. How about any feet down?
The feet come up.
I think he made contact. Levitating. The David Blaine of hitters. And battling here. Nelson needed 8 pitches to get through the whole last inning. He'll need at least 8 to get through Bell. Spoiling another.
Good job.
Bell has been that cleanup man now for most of the season against righties, and for a rookie to be in that spot. There's only been a couple of Pirates that have had more plate appearances as a cleanup man than Bell. More than Kiner, his rookie season. Got to go back to 1950 last time anybody's done it as much as Bell. And he's handled it with poise. You look at today with a 2-out singles both times up. Really changes the mood of an inning.
Well, since he first arrived here in Pittsburgh at the big league club, he's seemed unfazed no matter where he's hit or where he's played.
10th pitch coming up. Walker gets Bell to start, but he extracts some pitches there. And still, even though that's a leadoff out, that's still productive in the sense that, now that was almost a whole inning's worth of pitches. And brief delay.
More violent intruders in terms of the takedown.
You cannot go on the field and the penalties are way stiffer than they've been before, so if you ever think about it, ask your buddy if they think it's a good idea, and then don't do what they tell you. David Freese. He's that hard curveball from Nelson. Freese came through with the third of 3 successive 2-out singles in that 3-run third inning. He almost hit Freese. May have even hit him, but he swung. Did that hit him?
It looks like it.
Now, if you swing and you're hit with a pitch, it's a strike. Doesn't mean it feels good.
Hard to tell. Is it on the shoulder? On the hand? I couldn't tell. Not looking at the hand.
Wanted to get him.
Oh, in the hand. Ouch.
Think about Cervelli's hand issues right now. So necessary for hitting.
And again, that might play into the difficulty it is picking up the release point, picking the ball up. I mean, how often do you see that? A guy swinging at a pitch, a full swing that hits him in the hand.
Yeah, good point. Nelson has struck out 5 of the last 7 now. Right about that time, like you said.
And considering he only struck out 2 of the first 16, before the shadows.
Cole struck out 5 of the last 7 on his end too. And the Pirates are not a team that strikes out very often. Pirates lead by 1 here in the 6th. Nelson has sent down 10 in a row. And the Pirates still lead.
Brought to you by the all-new Chevy Equinox and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Our Day Automotive this day in Pirates history. Back in 1958, Pirates beating the Reds 13-4 at Old Crosley Field. Bob Friend earning his 16th win, 7 solid innings. And the original Frank Thomas led the way with the Bucks. 3 home runs off of 3 different pitchers. He drove in 6 that day. 1958, great season for Frank Thomas. 35 homers, 109 RBIs. 4th in the MVP race that year. He was behind Banks, Mays, and Aaron. Wow. Frank Thomas was very good. Bob Friend, a very good pitcher for a long time as well. I know they're watching today. Hi to those two. I think Bob Friend was in the I think it was Spahn next, and then Bob Friend in the MVP race that year. So, wow.
Impressive stuff. Anytime you can drive in 100. And again, I'm a big fan of the RBI, and unfortunately, I think it's lost some of its meaning. OPS and certain other stats. I think WAR. To me, I love the RBI guys that can drive in runs, especially in the clutch.
This is this guy right here. This has been a key part of this lineup for Milwaukee. He's a guy that drives in runs. And I'm with you. I like a lot of the newer numbers. I think they do carry weight. Weighted on base is a favorite of mine, for instance, but this tells another story. Deep out to right again. Frazier can't get it. Home run for Shaw. Third home run for the Brewers today, and they've tied it. Six home runs for Travis Shaw.
And I can't believe this ball left the park. I mean, it looked like a pop-up, just a towering pop-up as a fastball left up and out over the plate.
That look says it all.
And just enough distance.
In the year of the home run, Garrett Cole now has allowed 26. I didn't think that had home run written on it, but Shaw hits one out. There are 8 pitchers in baseball that have allowed more home runs than Garrett Cole. Can you believe that?
No.
We've been talking about how difficult it is to square up the baseball since those shadows have moved out. We've seen probably one ball connected on it solidly, and then Shaw ends up hitting one out. And a ball that was at 93 miles an hour too, which was a little interesting.
Yeah.
Now George Contos getting up as the Brewers have come back to tie it 4 unanswered.
Garrett now with 98 pitches.
His spot is due up third next inning. Pirates have 7 hits today, all singles, stringing them together to pick up their 4. The Brewers have 5 hits. 3 of those have left the ballpark, and that has plated all 4 runs today. And for Ray Searage and the Pirates, you know, you look at Cole, and he's pitched very well this afternoon, but it's kind of it's been a recurring theme off and on, is that, you know, that home run ball ends up making a solid performance look ordinary.
And again, it's a ballpark where the ball carries. It's friendly for the hitter.
Pena, not quite enough.
And off the end of the bat.
Second out here in the 6th in a tie ball game.
Once they get through this, hope his offense can score so he can pick up that 8th straight win on the road.
Each of his last 7 starts away from PNC Park, he has been the winning pitcher. Steve Blass won 7 in a row on the road to begin the '72 season. had a no decision, then won the next one.
That's when he liked the road, right?
We miss Steve on the road. Not that we don't like having you around, but we wish we could have you both at the same time.
He
missed
doesn't
Bob
like,
today too.
Steve does not like being on the road. Now, we've seen him each of the last few years on the road. Briefly.
He did in '72. We know that. You mentioned that statistic they dug up, and Don Robinson was the last Pirate to win 7 straight games or starts on the road back in '82. Contos ready if needed. Cole will get out of the inning. Alvarez strikes out looking, but the leadoff home run by Travis Shaw. We are tied now through 6. Road ahead, and the Cardinals will come to Pittsburgh to begin 4 games, 3 in Pittsburgh. Adam Wainwright against Jameson Tyone. That's tomorrow night, and we'll have the first 3 of those for you right here on AT&T Sportsnet. Sunday night game from Williamsport, Leak and Nova. A lot of Bucco fans here in Milwaukee. New ball game though, 4-4 as we get to the later innings. A few of the members of the starting rotation we'll see featured in that series. Cardinals losing yesterday in Boston, drubbed by the Red Sox, and the Cubs losing. Mercer, Stewart, and then with Cole's spot coming up, he'll likely be out. Contos has been warming. There's Garrett Cole. He's got the sweatshirt on. That is fair, and he's out. Excuse me swing and stayed just fair, and Pena pouncing on it.
Yeah, I mean, just a little check swing on a pitch down, and it looked like it rolled right out to that foul line, which makes it fair.
get a good look of it here. Foul ball lands behind home plate, rolls out.
Yep, right up the line. Draw an imaginary line from the foul lines to the point of the plate.
And it looked like it gave Hunter Wendelstedt a good look because it looked like it rolled right to the chalk. If it stays in the box where there is no line, it's a tougher call. Obviously, you just kind of judge it.
And it depends on where Pena picks it up too. I mean, it could start off foul and then roll fair, or vice versa. Looked a little bit ago like Nelson was on the ropes. He has sent down 11 men in a row. Stewart with his second hit today.
Almost identical to the base hit he had back in the third. Line drive up the middle.
So a man aboard with one out. And come on out to the ballpark Saturday. The Pirates hosting the Cardinals at 4:05, and the first 20,000 fans will take home a Gregory Polanco El Cafe bobblehead. Thanks to Dunkin' Donuts. Go to pirates.com/bobbleheads. Pick up your tickets. Come on out and see the Buccos back in action. John Jaso will bat for Garrett Cole. Cole gave up 5 hits in 6 innings, but 3 of those leaving the ballpark. Accounting for all 4 runs, he struck out 9. Jaso over the last 4 seasons, the best OPS of any regular pinch hitter in baseball. George Contos looks like he'll come in. Jaso yesterday appeared as a pinch hitter and walked. Any pinch hitter with 50 at bats over the last 4 seasons, he's got the best OPS, over 1,000.
And I mean, you have to be careful with him. I mean, it's the power he possesses off the bench. I mean, he's aggressive after the fastball. Nelson, first pitch curveball in there for a strike. Then he missed badly with the fastball. I would think he'd want to try to keep away from throwing a fastball for a strike. Boy, he did right there. Came right at him. Meant to be away, threw it down the middle. Jaso with an aggressive swing, but underneath it. Look where the glove is, and he's reaching to the backhand. Boy, he got away with one.
Now Nelson ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Off Aguilar's glove. And Walker coming up looking like he was ready to receive that throw. Stewart sliding in. And so he's able to get the second. Jaso is aboard.
Yeah, this you think is going to be a double play ball for one. Aguilar, I'm not sure why he's playing so shallow right there. I mean, he would have given himself a little more room, a little more range. As that ball's on its way up, it clanks off the end of his glove. Chris Stewart did not look behind him, so he didn't see that ball roll into shallow right field. And if he did, he probably would have been able to get to third base. An opportunity here for the Pirates is a miscue for the Brewers. Chance to unbreak this tie.
Turns throughout this affair this afternoon. Let's take a look at our Barrel Automotive league leaders, and in the month of August, best bullpen earned run averages, the Brewers are the tops. They showed it last night. Hughes came in and got the final out.
And Counsell going with them, kind of using Jared Hughes like Clint Hurdle used Jared Hughes. Bring him in with runners on, try to induce the ground ball. Try to get a double play ball, but Marte, that's not very easy, as he's appearing for the 52nd time, a 3.59 ERA, 40 punch outs.
Marte with 2 singles today. Jimmy Nelson went 6 1/3. Gave up 8 singles. Walked a batter, struck out 7. Pirates have 1 extra base hit total in their last 3 games, including today. That was Frazier's triple yesterday. So they're due to have something kind of pop open. And Marte has not been hitting for extra bases. He does not have a home run since returning. You were saying you're feeling like he's starting to break out of it. Maybe this is the spot.
Yeah, tough guy to face here, and a guy you don't want to look to pull, because that's what he gets when you try to pull him.
You get the 1 out,
and that's an easier thing to say than to do. You don't want to pull him, but Hughes throws a bunch of sinkers inside. And so if he's throwing them in there for strikes, it's hard not to pull. And when you do, because of the late movement, you're always going to hit on top of the ball. And see a lot of that. Grounders to the left side for a right-handed batter. But yes, Marte, I think, has been tracking the ball and has been patient and taking much better swings the last couple of days. And when that happens, you'll start seeing the extra base hits come, the occasional homer.
Garrett Cole done today too. 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned, a couple of walks, those 9 strikeouts. And a base hit. Jaso around third. Perez's throw, and he is safe. Jaso is in, and the Pirates retake the lead.
Boy, that's huge. You had the guys stacked up on the left side. Harrison hits it hard enough to get it through. And what a throw, by the way, with 2 outs. The left fielder Perez, a strong, accurate throw that I thought beat Jaso, but Pena had to kind of take the ball in the air, and I think the foot of Jaso reaches home plate before the tag. It looks like a high tag, but man, that's a perfect throw. Unless that front foot doesn't touch the home plate, that's the only chance I think the Brewers have of winning this challenge.
Is there something to definitively show that Jaso is out? That's what the Brewers are banking on.
If that front foot's in the air, or does it touch home plate? Oh, I think it just barely nicks that front corner.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to aim for when you're sliding into home. You know, we see so many base runners anymore. You know, they come outside the plate and reach back and touch home plate with the hand. You know, on a bang bang play, you want to try to get that front foot to touch that very front corner, that the closest part of that plate. And here's the slow-mo from Allegheny Health Network, and
appears to be on the plate.
It appears.
Just a quick toe down, and then there's got to be something that shows that he is out, and it doesn't. Pirates have the lead. And Perez, you mentioned his throw. He was a shortstop by trade. And primarily has played the infield.
Once again, boy, that toe, that's exactly that. I mean, that's textbook as far as how to slide into home plate.
Perfect.
Reach for that very front corner. You see he gets there by a couple of inches. Yeah, and so many, like I said, so many players are runners and want to come outside and touch the plate with their hand. If Jaso would have done that, he's out.
5 2-out singles today. Plated the runs. And he keeps it ahead of him. McCutchen with a 2-out chance here. So Harrison, McCutchen, Bell twice, and Freeze with 2-out hits, drive-in runs. Marte with those good wheels at second. Why stop here? That run charged to Nelson. And he's still on the hook for Marte, even though Marte batted against Hughes. Exchanging runners on a fielder's choice would go on Nelson's line. He's fallen behind 3-0.
Andrew McCutchen swing. 3-0 if he gets a strike. You know he has the green light.
Put it in a good spot.
Right on the outside corner.
Sogard. So good.
Heck of a play.
And that ends it. Hit hard. But the Pirates get the lead against Jared Hughes.
Authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
John Jaso scoring the go-ahead run in the top of the 7th. Hope you had a good stretch. 5-4 Buccos as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Keon Broxton coming up. We were telling you earlier about the They're in north central Florida. He and Andrew McCutchen played each other in high school. When you go to Fort Meade, where Andrew McCutchen is from, Steve tweeting in, Point Park tweets, there's a sign for Kutch when you enter town. Pretty neat.
Yep.
Pride of Fort Meade.
Robbed of a hit and an RBI there. Nice little play by Sogard as George Contos 54th appearance, a 3.62 ERA. I read 3 appearances for the Pirates. He's retired all 9 batters he's faced in 24 pitches.
You can't get better than that. A lot of experience for Contos. Pitching in a postseason, being with 2 teams that went on to win the World Series. That's the Giants. Came up through the Yankee system. Out of Northwestern University, so not too far from here. Grew up in Skokie, Illinois. Has had several good seasons with the Giants. Ran into a couple of tough weeks, and then the Giants, who are distant. There's some distance on that. And Broxton has homered for the 2nd time today. Three home runs in 4 at-bats in the series for Keon Broxton.
And again, not a ball hit all that hard off the end of the bat. Contos left a breaking ball up. A 2-strike breaking ball. Look where the first 3 pitches are. Down, down and away. Breaking ball middle in. And he still got it off the end of the bat a little bit. But you'll see just enough distance to get it out. I want to say the Shaw homer, I think they said 374. I doubt that traveled that far.
Eric Thames will pinch hit for Jared Hughes. 4 home runs today for the Brewers. 2 by Broxton. He's now hit 19. Thames with 27 long balls this year. But has driven in somebody else only 24 times. Ninth home run allowed by Contos in his 54+ innings. Anthony Swarzak, who was picked up from the White Sox, starting to get up from Milwaukee. Thames did not start today. Braun did not start. They've got VR.
Every time we show a close-up of him, just because of his build, I think, I pity the fool.
Mr. T. And those folks that remember the 1980s. Contos comes through with a strikeout. Not quite as much jewelry, though.
No, not as much. But built the same. Short. Muscular.
Yeah.
Looks mean. Saw him once. He did the 7th inning stretch at Wrigley Field. So
oh, wow.
Stunned by, I don't want to call him short, but he wasn't very tall.
Diminutive.
Diminutive. I would
Still
never use that, but I would say not tall.
That's good. Well, Eric Thames is Mr. T. If you were a school teacher or something, you'd call Mr. T.
Yeah.
Sogard made that potentially run-saving play last inning, filling in for Orlando Arcia, who's had back spasms.
5-5. This one has been back and forth. Pirates led 4-0. Brewers eventually chipping away at that. Pirates just taking the lead again in the top half of this inning, and the Brewers quickly negate that.
J.A. with the clutch base hit.
Pirates with 9 singles today. The Brewers with 4 home runs. And Contos with back-to-back strikeouts. Brewers have struck out 11 times today. And just a reminder, you can always get your Pirates gear at the Majestic Clubhouse store on Federal Street at PNC Park. It's powered by Fanatics. They have merchandise for all fans of all ages, including customized jerseys, stadium exclusive merchandise, and the store is open from 10 to 6 Monday through Friday, Saturday from 11 to 5, and during all Pirates home games. That was a look at the Brewers store here.
They must have 50 different hats.
They've gone with the ball and glove logo for the most part. Today with the wheat underlined M, which is still their official logo. There's all the different varieties. Used to be just one hat or maybe a home and a road hat for a team, and now all sorts of ways you can personalize it. Back when they were in the American League, Brewers went to the World Series back in '82, lost to St. Louis. Walker has hit a 2-run home run today and singled in his 3 at-bats. Third game now with the Brewers. Picked him up in a trade with the Mets on Saturday. Walker talking with reporters yesterday about how he thinks playing with the Brewers will be a little bit easier, knowing the division and knowing this ballpark, having come here as a visitor quite a bit. And all he said, as a player, all you want to do is be in the race, and he has been thrust right back into it.
The New York experience has to be interesting. Deal with all the media. Seems like it's always a mess in New York.
Walker saying the buzz is real and impressive in New York. Conto started his career with the Yankees. Among those who know what it's like. Can be unforgiving.
Oh, I bet.
Payoff pitch. Another close ball game with the Brewers. They've been pretty much all nail biters in the last 7 meetings. 2 runs or fewer.
Walker going to see 9 pitches.
Keon Broxton leading off with a home run. 3 homers in his 4 at-bats in the series. When he gets hot, You see things like that, and then there are cold spells where he'll get 3 hits in 3 weeks and strike out literally half the time. Like we've seen it this year.
The first 2 home runs he's hit in this series, and one last night and the first one today, were on decent pitches.
And Walker does with 2 outs. Santos, who had seen no turmoil in his first 3 outings with the Pirates, giving up the game-tying home run here in the 7th, trying to keep it tied now. Domingo Santana went 0 for 3 against Garrett Cole. He gave up 5 hits in the 6 innings, but 3 left the ballpark. Ray Searage out for a counsel.
Some time to get loose. He's just getting up.
Well, the Pirates have dropped 3 straight, and you know, if that's in May, you don't really bat an eyelash at it. Once you start getting here in the final 5 or 6 weeks of the season, any prolonged losing stretch could deliver a knockout punch.
Well, we're talking about it. You know, this stretch, we knew it was coming up, and we stressed the importance of winning these division games. If you're going to win the division, you're going to have to beat these teams, especially the ones above you in the division.
Well, the Pirates will have a great bit of opportunity, including today, 24 games against the 3 teams ahead of them in the standings: Milwaukee, St. Louis, and Chicago. All right in front of the Pirates. They play well, they can get in. If they don't, we'll talk about 2018.
Getting ahead of Santana with 2 off-speed pitches. The one, a great location. That second pitch got away with it. Similar to the pitch that Broxton hit out. Hanging breaking ball. Way ahead of Santana.
Two-strike pitch. Doesn't get the chase. Travis Shaw homered his last time up. 2 homers for Broxton today, Neil Walker and Shaw. And he strikes out Santana. Well, 3 strikeouts in the inning for Cantos, but he allows the game-tying home run to Broxton. So we go to the 8th, knotted up again.
is brought to you by Barrel. Our service centers are now open evenings and weekends. Visit barrelservice.com for more. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
5-5 as we go to the 8th. Important divisional showdown. Travis Shaw homering back at the 6th inning. Keon Broxton with 2 leadoff home runs today. So the Brewers doing it with the long ball. The Pirates collecting singles, scoring all their runs with 2 outs today.
Overall for Anthony Swarzak, 4-3 at 2.14 ERA, 49th appearance, 62 strikeouts and 54 2/3. Opponents hitting just 207 against him. Since joining the Brewers, 7 appearances, a 1.42 ERA.
Having a career year.
Whoa.
Sorry, I just saw that pitch and I'm wondering why it was called a ball. That may have been the worst missed strike I've ever seen. I mean, it was middle of the plate, like almost thigh high, and it was called a ball.
Enrico Palazzo behind the plate. They don't always get it.
Again, it might be tough for the umpire to see too.
Yeah.
With the shadows. And it wasn't like, sometimes you see pitches that are strikes called balls because of the way the catcher caught it. Well, the catcher was set up right there, caught it right there. It was almost in the middle box that we show on the strike zone, just below it.
Now, if Reggie Jackson walks out in a trance out on the field, then I'm going to get out of here. That's a Naked Gun reference. Well, the Pirates hit a long ball today. They can come up with something here against this Brewers bullpen that has been on a roll. Swarzak throwing harder now than he has really at any point in his career. Brewers picked him up 3 weeks ago from the White Sox. A suntan and a souvenir. This one may be playable out toward that sun. Where did it go?
Behind the tarp.
Yes, they have a tarp here with a roof.
I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. Didn't realize that. If there's a malfunction in the roof, you'll need a tarp.
Yeah, or if it takes 12 minutes to close it, so if something pops up and you can get that tarp on a little quicker than that. I think I probably saw it come out once. Cracked out to right, and that's going to be extra bases for Bell. That weird hop going away from Santana. Bell heading to third, and he's got a stand-up triple. Bell's team-leading 6th triple here to start the 8th.
Boy, is he just hitting the ball with authority, coming up huge, and he gets a hanging breaking ball here, left up middle of the plate, and crushes it. And it fortunate it hits that little angled part out there in straightaway right field, so it kicks hard to the left. And then there's a little bobble out there, but I still think Bell is at third easily without the bobble.
Thinking 3 all the way. There are 4 players in baseball that have more triples than Josh Bell.
Blackman.
He has 14.
Hamilton
has 9. You're good at this.
and
Other 2 I wouldn't have gotten.
I would think one's got to be Colorado.
no, wait a minute.
Nick Castellanos.
I was going to say Castellanos and his teammate. No.
No, Zach Cozart has 7 for some reason.
Zach Cozart.
I wouldn't have guessed Zach Cozart. Yeah, Castellanos.
Yeah, we were just there in Detroit. That's a big triples ballpark. There was somebody else on their team that had quite a few triples, if I remember correctly. Infield in for David Freese, behind the count, 1-2.
Trying to put the Pirates back ahead. Who's going to be at the top of the teeter-totter? Bell with 3 hits today now. Just got a piece of it.
It's got a piece of it that might have came up and got Pena in the throat. Just off the end of the bat, down and back up. Yeah, just above the chest protector.
And it doesn't have sometimes that Steve Yeager throat guard that you got a little metal down there, but not that hanging flap that sometimes can help that. Umpire Wendelstedt has that. Please take strike 3. Swarzak gets a big first out.
Just froze him. Yeah. Fastball. Outer third and just above the belt.
Infield will come all the way in now. Twisting foul. And Perez will watch it into the seats.
Nothing better than that.
Go to the ballpark and you end up with a baseball. Something to play catch with when you go home.
Man, how I tried to get a souvenir growing up and never, not once.
I never did either. Adam Frazier comes through with a base hit.
And you know, he does it so often, especially the way he's been swinging the bat lately. I thought Craig Counsell would walk him. I really did. I thought that he wouldn't pitch to Adam Frazier because you got a guy up there. I mean, Frazier doesn't have many holes in the swing. He's so good at hitting the ball the other way. And he's just right on it. I literally thought that when Frazier went up there, that Counsell might not give him an opportunity. And whether that thought crossed his mind or not, I don't know. But I'm thinking now he wished he would have walked him. Big hit.
Now, Swarzak this year so good against left-handed batters. Maybe that came into play, but Frazier's an exception. He's not going to hit for a ton of extra bases, but he didn't need to right there. And we're seeing last inning an inherited runner coming across. This one charged to the Brewers bullpen. Brewers leading baseball in bullpen ERA so far, halfway through this month. Now the Pirates have retaken the lead here in the 8th. You asked for 4 today, Rock. They needed more, and they've gotten it. It has been a resilient bunch. We've seen games like this where the Pirates maybe have something go away and then come back, or be trailing for a while, then make their way back as well.
Right.
Behind 0-2. Mercer 0 for 3 today. Pirates had a 4-run lead that the Brewers came back and tied it twice after the Pirates went ahead. There's Juan Nicasio, will likely be next. His turn to protect the lead. Now ball 1. Mercer 0 for 4 today. Look at the lowdown, and the Nationals falling today to the Angels. Giancarlo Stanton did not hit a home run today.
That's odd.
He had 6 straight with a home run, 2 shy of Dale Long, Don Mattingly, and Ken Griffey Jr.'s record. 8 straight. Action later, Cardinals back in Boston. Cubs almost came back. They scored a run in the 9th yesterday, but lost 2-1 to the Reds.
Cards will be getting in late tonight.
Have to keep tabs this evening. Pirates hope to be eligible to gain ground. They'll gain on Milwaukee if they win. And it's up to the other 2. Both the Cubs and Cardinals losing yesterday. Stewart with 2 singles today. Dismissed.
Pretty good take. Breaking ball. Just off the plate.
Now the 1-2. Josh Bell leading off the inning with a triple. Adam Frazier driving him in. Back and forth we go. There's Frazier. Now the shadows, or the light from the windows, making its way toward the plate.
And then you start seeing the sun on the batter's eye. That could come into play.
3 strikeouts in the inning for Swarzak, but the Pirates go back ahead thanks to Frazier's 1-out single. hit. Go back ahead of the Brewers 6-5 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. MLB.TV every night, every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live. Plus get a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Now the Brewers have had an answer every time the Pirates have taken the lead. Might this be the time? Put up a 0 to respond.
Forward to Nicasio putting up a 0. Improve on that 2.53 ERA. 55 punch outs, 53 in the 3rd innings. 59th appearance for Juan.
Travis Shaw homered his last time up. He's faced Nicasio one time and struck out against him.
Stewart will take his time, give home plate umpire a little time as that ball got him in the chest protector. Oh, the chest protector to the left arm.
Wendelstedt. Went upstairs with a high heat. Nicasio this year so much improved against lefty batters. And he strikes out Shaw looking. One of the better lefty batters in the National League.
Shaw didn't seem to like it. Stood there a while looking out over that outside part of the plate. A little off the plate, but swung at a pitch worse than that. Up above the letters.
One out. Now a couple of righties, Aguilar and then Pena. But Nicasio, last year the 2nd highest slugging percentage in all of baseball of anybody that faced 200 batters against lefties. So I mean he couldn't get him out. They hit him for massive power. This year, so I'll give you this number. Last year was 568. This year it's 264 coming in.
Wow.
Less than half. And Aguilar, who does not run well, able to get aboard.
And I think if Jordy Mercer would have been able to pick this up, he still would have had a shot at Aguilar. I don't know if he started running out of the box or not, but man, he wasn't 10 feet from home plate when that ball was about to be picked up by Jordy. Off the thumb of the glove, then his back. Maybe would have had a shot.
I think he gets him when he picks the ball up the first time.
Yeah, he was in
He
no
does not
hurry.
run well.
Yeah.
With Mercer's good arm, I'm going to rule that a hit, but I think Jordy would tell you that he thought he would make that play normally. Pena double play possibility. Singled back in the 2nd. Now in the 8th inning, there are some options for Craig Counsell. He's got VR on that bench if he wants a pinch runner, but not here in the 8th inning and not with a runner at first. But going forward, if there is that situation, 2 pinch run, he's got that option. And then later on, if he wants Ryan Braun to pinch hit, he's got him available. Arcia probably unavailable today. to right. Frazier back, and the Brewers have done it again. Five home runs for the Brewers today, and they've got their first lead of the afternoon.
A homer in 3 straight innings. Pena, boy, center cut. That's a good pitch to hit. And he didn't miss him.
9th home run for Pena. A career minor leaguer before this season. And Nicasio, who until about a month ago hadn't allowed a home run in months and months and months. Touched here, and both Cantos and Nicasio, given 1-run leads, neither can hold them, and now the Pirates will have to play from behind in the 9th. They got a bit of Chris Stewart. 5 home runs for the Brewers today. What happened? Getting back to the mask.
Right in the chin.
Well, this is a stunning circumstance. Looks like Stewart's okay.
It's just bizarre to see this late in the ball game and back and forth.
The Pirates keep battling back to find leads. Pirates have taken 3 leads today, and the Brewers have negated all and now lead for the first time. Looking ahead to the 9th, Pirates will have a pinch hitter, Marte, Harrison, and then if it gets to McCutchen. And they're going to need at least a run. Now it's up to Nicasio to keep it at just 1. Harris helps him out.
And it has been. It's been home run or strikeout. Seems like
14 strikeouts for the Brewers today.
14 punch outs, and they've hit it. They've hit it well.
Now they're going to have to face Corey Kananga, the all-star closer. Clint Hurdle wants to make a double switch here.
And this is with nobody on base. I don't know. I mean, we've seen more this year as far as the closer coming into the 8th inning, more than we've had the whole tenure of Clint Hurdle in a save situation. This is a first to see Rivero to come in a non-save situation in the 8th.
He'll be asked to try to get the final out and see if the Pirates take the lead for him in the 9th. Stunning turn of events here in Milwaukee as the Brewers have homered 5 times today, negating 3 different Pirate leads. Manny Pena with the 2-run go-ahead home run off Juan Nicasio, who departs here. Sean Rodriguez comes in the game on the double switch. He's out in right. Keon Broxton, who has homered twice, is at the plate. And Felipe Rivero is on the mound.
Rivero with that stellar 1.21 ERA, 70 strikeouts.
You know, after thinking about in between innings, now the Rivero has not pitched since Friday. Neither has Nicasio or Contos, for that matter. And so, if Clint didn't bring him in with 2 outs, another day of inactivity. So, obviously, it could be just he's bringing Rivero in for the sake of pitching. Because if the Pirates don't score in the 9th, obviously the Brewers won't bat.
Broxton 0 for 2 with 2 punch outs against Rivero.
And if the Pirates tie or take the lead, then you've got Rivero in the game. Second time this year the Pirates have given up 5 home runs. Last time was at Colorado. That's a strike.
A lot of folks here don't agree. The PMC Sports Medicine Strike Zone says right at the knee.
Strikes out Broxton. The Brewers have struck out 15 times today. It doesn't matter when they've got the lead. Bucks need a run in the 9th. In the 9th, they need a run. And a look at tomorrow as the Pirates open up a homestand against the St. Louis Cardinals. Jameson Taillon will get the nod. He'll be opposed by Adam Wainwright. And our coverage here on AT&T Sportsnet begins at 6:30 with Pirates pregame presented by W.B. Mason. Manny Pena with a 2-run go-ahead home run off of Juan Nicasio, giving the Brewers to date their only lead, and so they'll bring on their closer Corey Knebel.
Knebel with the good numbers, 1.44 ERA, 57th appearance, 97 strikeouts.
Pretty impressive stuff as
he looks to record his 24th save.
Sean Rodriguez, who came in on the double switch. Then Marte, who homered the last time he faced Knebel. Harrison, and then if it gets to Andrew McCutchen, who's also homered off Knebel in his career. With that big breaking curveball.
Bit of a knee buckler. And that's what he got shone on last night to end the game.
And then that heat.
Maybe guessing strike, maybe not picking it up, but that fastball well off the plate away.
The light from the windows out in front of the plate. Teams have combined for 25 strikeouts today. Marte next. He's got 2 hits today. And Rodriguez a hot shot, but Shaw gets the first out.
Shaw hasn't gotten much action in his short 2-game set, but we've seen enough of him this year at third base. His hands are so good. He always stays on his feet. You don't see him sliding or falling or, you know, on a one hopper. Almost everybody goes down. He stays on his feet more than any infielder and just makes it look so easy. A lot of guys go down because they won't get charged for an error if they go down. They make it look more difficult. But man, he is so good on his feet.
Now Marte. Last time he faced Knebel, he homered. 1 for 2 lifetime. 2 singles today. High and into medium left.
Well, he took a good swing at that too, and he just got under it. My goodness.
Almost played that into something better for the Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, when you see the location of this pitch, the swing of Marte, that's when you know the hands are going good. When you hit a ball this high, sky high, and man, he just got under it. But those hands came inside. That pitch was about 6 inches off the plate inside, and man, he just needed to get on top of it a little bit more. Once again, we saw this earlier in the game where Sogard was not peeling away from an outfielder. Earlier in the game, Broxton caught a ball over him.
Josh Harrison with a run-scoring hit back in the 7th. Last hope for the Pirates. Pirates led this game 4-0. The Brewers came back and tied it. Pirates pulled ahead by a run. Brewers came back to tie it. Pirates took the lead again. And then the Brewers took their first lead in the bottom of the 8th. $32,000 plus, mostly standing. Brewers trying to take both games of their series. And they do. And that was a tough one.
It brings you back to the days of old when you came to Miller Park and couldn't leave here with the win. So many times today you thought this was in the bag for the Pirates. You give Garrett Cole a 4-run lead, you feel that game over. The way he's pitched against the Brewers this year, the way he's pitched on the road this year, the way he's pitched against the division this year. But the Brewers kept coming back with the long ball. And they answered immediately in the bottom of the 3rd. Homer, walk, homer to make it a 1-run game, and then the big homers late do win the Pirates.
Yeah, the Pirates scoring 6 runs today. That's not enough. Milwaukee takes both games of the series, and the Pirates will try to rebound with the homestand coming up. But now first, let's have this one talk it over a little bit. Let's go out to Robin Teak.